Jameson Irish Whiskey, the top-selling Irish whiskey in the world. Let's take a gander. Rash, you are welcome back to the bar, where we're having a look at the top-selling Irish whiskey on the world today, Jameson Irish Whiskey. But before we jump into having a taste of it, there's like many Irish whiskies, there's great history and great stories. So let's go back all the way to 1740. That was the year that John Jameson was born in, wait for it, Scotland. He was born in the town of Alloa near Stirling in Scotland in 1740. In 1758, John Jameson married Margaret Haig and they went on to have 16 children. 8 boys, keep going, goodness, almost enough fingers. 8 boys, 8 girls. The word ouch comes to mind. Right, 1780, that's when John Jameson bought a distillery in Bow Street, and the 1780 that we see on the bottle references that. And fast forward to the late 1800s, and by that time Jameson was producing over 1 million gallons of fine Irish whiskey each year. Fast forward again, 1966 had come through the very rough times for Irish distilling in general, and Irish Distillers was formed when the 3 great families of Irish whiskey joined together. In 1971, bad news for us Dubs. That's when the distillery at Bow Street in Dublin was shut down, and all of the production for all of the brands of Irish Distillers was moved to Middleton in County Cork. In 1988, a year when I turned 18 and was legally able to drink my first drop, Irish Distillers was bought by Pernod Ricard, who still own them to this day, and their focus from then on was the Jameson brand. They put all their time, money and effort into that to make it the global brand that we know it is today. Fast forward again to this year, sales figures for Jameson for their financial year. So from July of 21 to the end of June of 22, Jameson sold 10.4 million cases globally. That's a massive amount, and 5.9 million of those were sold here in the US. So, running the numbers on Jameson Irish Whiskey, sells from kind of $22 to $28 a bottle, 750ml bottle, and weighs in on the alcohol front 40% ABV or 80 proof. A bottle of this weighs 2 pounds and 11 ounces or 1,235 grams. So, what is Jameson Irish Whiskey? It's a blended Irish whiskey made from grain whiskey and pot still whiskey. So pot still being the most expensive whiskey to make in terms of all the styles. So pot still made from malted and unmalted barley. Apparently, all of that barley comes from within a 50-mile radius of the distillery down there in Middleton. And like many Irish whiskies, but not all, is triple distilled. So enough of the chat. Let's jump in and have a taste of some Jamesons, or Jemmy as it's known. Okay. Right, so appearance-wise, commercial Irish whiskey, golden brown, kind of warm golden brown type colour. Doesn't say anywhere on the bottle or any tasting notes, but there's highly likely that that caramel was added to this to give it that consistent colour, which is typical for a global brand. On the nose, you got that lovely kind of caramel vanilla. To me, there's a buttery character to it, if that makes any sense. A little hint of mint, and I pick up some orange peels. Reasonably complex nose, and I love those. There's a Christmas cake spiciness that comes out. So back home in the day at Christmas time, there would be lots of Christmas cakes baked, lots of that kind of that Christmas cake baking character. So it's a relatively, for a blended whiskey, the pot still element gives it a little bit more complexity. So on the palate, Oh, warm, fills the mouth. Those same baking, those Christmas spices, they're definitely, to me, they're there. There's like toffee, caramel sweetness to it. Yeah, it's got those lovely characters, and there's almost a how would I describe it? Choc chip cookie. Yeah, kind of like baked, that doughy baked chocolate chip type character. So that's it in the raw. Let's try it with a few drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what a few drops does to it. So on the nose, tiny little change for me. I find the fruit coming more to the fore. So that kind of orange, the orangey peel character in there. Oh, little hints of, can I pick up a little hint of, it's kind of a, yeah, tiny little hint of apple in there. But yeah, that orangey character comes up front, and the baking spice character just mellows out a touch on the palate. Yeah, same again. The spice is kind of mellowing, and the fruit just like fruity on the palate, just really nice, balanced, almost. I'm almost picking up more apple, pear, orange on the palate, with the ice just kind of brings those to the fore. So what do I think? Conclusions. I like Jameson. You can tell. We've got a few bottles here in the house. Not much left in this one. It's got its big brother here, brothers and sisters. There's an empty bottle of Black Barrel back here. We obviously, we've got a few of the Jameson family here in the house, and we enjoy drinking it. Would never say no to a Jameson if I was ever offered one. It's available in pretty much every bar and restaurant, the length and breadth and width of America and beyond. So would never turn down one of these. It's an okay to good whiskey. So in my emoji scale, it's 2.5 whiskey emojis, or 2.5. So in that okay to good. So again, yeah, we like it. I like it, and tastes good. So with that, we'll say Slán Siúa and see you next time. Yeah, never say no to that. John Jameson married Margaret Haig, the daughter of the famous Scottish distiller. Okay, can you stop?